Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Roxanne sent me a note to Steve, check out this story. It's causing quite a stir in my neck of the woods. And I've actually heard of this story as well as other stories like it around the country. It is what we call an evolving area of the law. Not in the sense that the First Amendment is a new thing, but that social media and how it plays into government actions is a relatively new thing in the history of the Constitution. So Elena Gross wrote this for Bucksco today. Here's how a deleted Facebook comment on the Yardley Borough page led to a First Amendment violation. A federal judge has ruled that Yardley officials violated a resident's First Amendment rights by deleting a comment that the person had made, which was critical of them, and was removed from the borough's Facebook page. And the Facebook page is an official page run by the government. So district court judge denied a request from borough officials to remove themselves from the lawsuit filed by an individual over a Facebook comment that was deleted back in 2022. So this goes back to 2022. The judge said that the officials are not immune from liability because they tried to raise qualified immunity, citing a consensus of established law. We'll get to that in a second. And this is the judge speaking now. A resident undoubtedly enjoys the right to appropriately criticize his local borough government officials under the First Amendment without fear of government censure. So the man who made the comment is a corporate trainer. He's politically active locally. He commented on a post from the Yardley Borough Facebook page. The post promoted a ballot measure to reduce the borough council members from 7 to 5. And so the man wrote, appointed councilman Matt Curtin wants to raise property taxes by 2 mills. Stop unelected, out-of-touch investment bankers like Matt Curtin from volunteering our hard-earned money for higher taxes. Vote yes on the referendum to reduce the size of the Yardley Borough Council. Now, interestingly, when that comment was posted, somebody working with the borough read it and said, oh, that's a personal attack on the councilman. It's a personal attack. And so that was their justification for deleting the comment. And so the man filed a lawsuit, and apparently shortly after he filed the lawsuit, they, I think, reposted his comment or did something. But the point is that they'd already deleted it once, and you can't really say, oh, you caught us, we'll put it back up again, because what's to keep from doing it again down the road? So the comment was removed just hours after being posted with the approval of the council president. So somebody saw it, ran and said, hey, guys, there's this personal attack on there. Can we remove it? Yes, we can, because it's a personal attack. And the council president approved it. So one thing that the judge wrote is the judge said, you have to understand what's going on here. Borough officials use an official Facebook page to communicate. So they have chosen to put up a page on Facebook by which they communicate. It is, in all intents and purposes, an official forum for them to communicate what they do. And as you know, Facebook has sections where people can comment beneath what you post. And so if they allow people to comment, but go in and selectively remove the ones they don't like, they're censoring you. And again, that pesky little First Amendment, that thing rears its ugly little head. And if you're allowing some people to comment but not others, it causes all kinds of problems. And so I know I've heard these stories before where a government entity has an official page and they're going in and deleting some comments but not others. And so there's a problem. And so I noted earlier that the judge said qualified immunity will not protect the people who've done this, because the question always is, was there a clearly established right that was messed with here? And the question, of course, is what's the right, first of all? Well, the right's the First Amendment right of free speech. I have the right to speak without the government censoring me based on what I said. Because if they perceive it as a personal attack, they'll delete it. But if I said, hey, I love this guy, vote however he wants us to vote because I love this guy. They would have left it up. Okay, that's not right. So there's the right. Is it clearly established? And so the question then becomes, was there case law in 2022 that should have hinted to these people that they shouldn't do this? And the judge wrote, at least 5 courts of appeals have addressed the issue of deleting comments and or banning users from a government social media page as of October 2022 and held these actions violate the First Amendment. And the court wrote, no one could find a judge holding to the contrary. And so I think what's really happening in situations like this is a lot of people have or have had Facebook pages. And so you know how a Facebook page works. And so if you post something on Facebook and someone comes along and makes a comment that you don't like under your thing, whatever it might be, you can delete it. Now, I know people who don't know that. I've seen people who've posted something with a typographical error in it, and then they post, I made a mistake. Oh, I made a mistake. And there's a whole string of these things. They don't realize they can remove their own posts. But we've all seen this. I mean, I've had people post, actual spam, like advertisements under my posts, and I have the right to remove those if I'm just an individual, because that's my page, and I'm just a person. But the distinction is when they're running the page as an official page of the council, of the borough, it's an official page they're running. By definition, that means, among other things, that the time spent running and operating it is being paid for with tax dollars, right? These aren't volunteers working in their spare time, is it? And so if it's being done with tax dollars, I assume the computers, wherever these people meet, they must have a building someplace. Their computers are probably paid for with tax dollars. Their internet connections probably paid for by tax dollars. And so they have to, in their minds, make the distinction that a personal Facebook page operates with one set of rules, but a government Facebook page operates with a completely different set of rules. And that really is what everyone needs to understand. So if you are a municipality someplace, I'm talking about the smaller ones, because I think by now word's gotten to the bigger ones, the actual page run by the state or run by a county, or run by a big city. I think most of them have gotten notes saying, by the way, you understand this is an official Facebook page. This is not a personal Facebook page. And, so the guy criticized somebody who said, ooh, that's a personal attack. And by the way, a good parallel to this would be, let's suppose that the borough council or whoever they are in any situation is having a public meeting. And they say, okay, we're going to conduct our meeting, and at the end we'll have questions and comments. We'll have a microphone. It's open mic night. We'll have a microphone, and anybody can walk up to that microphone and speak to us. And just because we got a lot of people here, we're going to limit you to 5 minutes. You get 5 minutes to talk. Somebody gets up there and says, hey, I live in town. Here's my name. Here's where I live. And I love the beautification project. Those geraniums you guys have planted up and down Main Street are beautiful. The park is nice and clean. I'm so proud of you guys, the way you spend my tax dollars. God, I wish I could give you more tax dollars. I wish I did. I wish I could. And they say, oh, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And you go sit down. Somebody else gets up there. There's always one. It says, I think you, sir, are doing a horrible job. I think you are a disgrace. You shouldn't be allowed out of the house, let alone on a borough council. And you, did you even take a civics lesson? Excuse me, sir, you're out of order. Sit down. I'm just being critical. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm just speaking my mind. I'm just a person. But yes, I'm being unnice. Now, is it uncomfortable to have someone point at you in public and go, you, did you ever take a civics class? Yeah, that's rude. Guess what? There are reams of cases from the Supreme Court all the way down about people who have the right to be rude, especially when addressing the government. And so that means if you want to go to the city council meeting, the borough council meeting, or whatever it is, and stand up and say, yeah, I'm just here because I've been living in this town for 12 years. Never come to one of your meetings before, but boy, am I disappointed with you guys and gals. You're doing a horrible job. The place is falling apart. 2 elections back when we had a completely different board, place ran really, really well. Boy, I wish those guys and gals were still here. You should be allowed to do that all day long and twice on Sunday. That's what the First Amendment's actually about. Okay? So I honestly think that if you were to go to find the person who deleted that comment, at the moment they thought it should be deleted, they weren't thinking, oh, this is an official government page. They were thinking, this is Facebook. This is Facebook. And I like it when people are polite on Facebook. Yeah, and most people do enjoy other people being polite. But when you create an official government page for a government entity and it's open for comment, you're going to get critical comments. Grow up. If you can't stand that kind of heat, get out of the barn. So thanks for sending this, Roxanne. I appreciate it. A deleted Facebook comment on the Yardley Borough page led to a First Amendment violation. A judge is going to let this case proceed. From Bucksco today, out of Pennsylvania, Elena Gross wrote that. Questions, your comments, put them below. Otherwise, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. I have not lost my mind. I have it backed up on tape somewhere.